All right, then, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the ER7 round number 2 Texas today. It's your boy Game Boy today. Welcome back, everyone, and big thank you to La Rogerie for filling up the commentary box last week during round 1 around Bahrain. So yeah, welcome everyone, and Texas today, which is quite a great track in my opinion. Qualifying just started, and it is raining. Intermediate tires are on the car, as you can see, and that's not going to change anytime soon from the looks of it. It's raining down quite heavily. Well, in the meantime, we watch Jackie's outlap. I'll check the settings of YouTube and make sure everything is alright. 1 second. Everyone, my voice is loud and clear, as they would say in the F1 cars. Yeah, Texas today, it will be, I believe, 28 laps, has a 50% race. Let me check real quickly. It's a 50% race, first 18 minutes of qualifying in wet weather conditions. So far, I don't know what the weather will be for the race itself. Might be wet, might be dry. Wet race is always exciting in terms of equal. It makes the drivers get more skilled towards the. With Jackie, who is the first one on track, it is all uphill towards Turman, which is a hairpin corner, quite unique around COTA, one of a kind. Then make sure to not go wide here. You can hit the curb on the outside on the battery, as you can see. This corner usually flat out during dry weather conditions. And then we got the S's, very replicatory of the Suzuka S's, although then with no grass on the outside and just all tarmac. And then we got a very tricky right-hander at the final part of the S's. You want to keep it tight to open up the next corner into the second hairpin of the track, which will lead into the back straight. Nice and easy here. Easy on the throttle. And then a little bit uphill, as the straight will be quite hilly. And then we have turn 12 over here, which is probably the favorite overtaking spot of the track into sector 3. 113.4 to start for sector 1 and 2 combined. Then we got her very slow through these corners into the final part. This corner is actually 2 or 3 corners, I believe, officially, but it's flat during dry weather conditions. It's a little lift in wet weather, unless you're brave enough to have the traction quite under control. But yet in the final 2 corners, be careful for track limits on the penultimate corner, and of course not to cut the last corner a little bit. But we're gonna open qualifying with a 150.5 from Jackie Chan, but that's immediately gonna be improved by Stevie, who puts in a 146.6 from the Aston Martin. Then we have one of the RBs, it's the Bacchus GT. He will put it now on the fastest lap, 145.8. Next up we have a Alpine. It's, I believe, Maxim. Yes, it is. Maxim over the line now. P2, 145.8. 1,000th of the time of Bacchus. Curry Memo puts himself into P3, followed up by failing Tomcat, who will now set his lap in P5 with a 146.9. Very well done. Next up is his teammate Stixer, new to ERA, and he will get his back into P7 as Katomi right behind him puts in the fastest lap on provisional pole so far. Sop is right behind him in P2, 145.2. looking that people have been loaded the car with some extra fuel, as you can use those tires for multiple laps. Colombo puts his car in P2, 144.9, takes the position off Soppis, his fellow countrymate. Then we have a Red Bull Aerody Knight in the white Red Bull Suzuka skin livery. Well, he's actually starting his lap, so let's move on to Fate. Fate, meanwhile, puts in P3 from the Williams driver. Next up, we have Tolu in the Alpine, puts himself in P5, 145.7 from the Alpine driver. Then we have Stevie again. I think he is gonna start another lap. Meanwhile, we're still waiting for an invite of Alex and Mahashne, so I'll have to keep the Discord in the back of my mind while we're watching the qualifying. But you're moving to Moikoli, who's going through the final sector now. A little bit of extra battery left to use onto the corner here. And he's gonna put in a fastest lap of 144.5. What an amazing lap from the Finnish triple world champion now of ERA Tier 1. Next up we have another Mercedes. It is Valencom Tomcat starting another lap. And it is MK7H, who has not set a lap yet, but is starting one now. So let's ride on board with the McLaren driver onto the barrier on the start-finish straight, up the hill, into the hairpin. There is a car there on the inside. I believe he left the space yet. It is his teammate coming out of the pits, Chris. And rain seems to be stop falling, so we might even see dry weather conditions at the end of qualifying. But yeah, through the S's we go. Ooh, a little bit tricky on traction there. Keep it tight round here. Open up the corner into this left-hander on the battery, and over here we have the DRS detection point. DRS, of course, still evident in the F1 25 game, as it only active aero in the new regulations starting this year and actually tomorrow with the Australian GP. But in the meantime, Stevie puts in a 143.3 on the intermediate tire, so amazing lap from him as well on the same tires he put in the other lap too. And we see people trying to switch to soft tires in the pits, but coming back to MK7H through the final corners. For the final sector we go through the technical corners. Keep it tight through the corners there at the apex. Nice on the throttle, on the battery. Will he keep it flat? No, this is a slight confidence lift through the right-hander. Final two corners incoming. Ooh, goes wide here. Does not invalidate, so he backed off. Luckily enough to not invalidate his lap, but that has hurt him. That will put his time still in third with 144.4. And while we're looking at MK7H, Mersin was for a moment in P1, but Soppis came back with a 143.1, putting himself on provisional pole. Also on the same tires he put in the first lap. And yeah, it is Katomi and Bakoshiti, both the Visa Cash App RB drivers, on the soft tires already. So they're gonna go out on a lap. Colombo as well just went out on the soft tires as well. So will they be faster right now? We'll see. But your time to beat 143.1 from Soppis on the intermediate tires. Anyone on a lap right now? It looks like Jackie might be on a lap. No, he's actually coming in. Sticks her on an out lap. Will he go? He will try another lap on the intermediate tires. We'll still wait to see if the soft tires might be the better option at this moment, but still exploratory area for now. Merculi meanwhile 142.8 on the intermediate tire, so he takes back P1 provisional pole as it stands. in the beautiful Suzuka Red Bull livery. One of a kind. So yeah, who's gonna be the first one on the soft tires? Looks to be Katomi though, so let's ride on board with Katomi. He did not open his DRS, so DRS still disabled from the looks of it. And is struggling on the traction there at the exit of turn 1 though. Those tires might still not be ready for these track conditions. Into sector 1, now he is 1.5 tenth down on his own time. So he is not improving yet. And Bakker's GT right behind him, his teammate. Dirty Air might be a little bit of a hurting factor here as he is very close to his teammate Katomi. But yeah, of course, the first drivers on the soft tires, so let's see what they will do. It looks like Katomi will get out of the way for his teammate Bakker's GT, so we're following Bakker's. In the meantime, Strixer puts in the fastest lap of 142.4 on the new intermediate tires, taking away the P1 position from Moikuli. So yeah, through the final corners we go. The long right-hander into the... Oh, and he loses the car into the right-hander. Went sideways through the corners, and that's gonna hurt his time now. Don't think it will be an improvement though. McLaren right up his bum now. It's MK7H who puts in the fastest time. Looks like the intermediate tires are still the tires to go as it stands. Track might not be ready yet for the slick tires. Meanwhile, McCauley also putting on the soft tires on his car in the pit box. Who is currently on a lap? It looks like Fate might be. No, he isn't. He invalidated. And people are going into the box. Into the pit box. Putting on some other tires. With just a couple of minutes left in qualifying. But yeah, as it stands, so MK7H on provisional pole with, of course, the intermediate tires. And DRS has been enabled from the looks of it, so according to the FIA, the track now is dry enough for the rear wing opening. And our fellow driver Alex Carugot has joined the grid in his house. Now into P17, of course yet to set a time, but welcome to the race, Alex. And let's show us what you can do. Everyone in the pits. I presume Aerody Knight will not. He is on the outlap, it says, but he used a lot of battery. And he puts in the fastest level at 138.7, so that's already almost 3.5 seconds of improvement on the soft tires. So it's definitely dry conditions now. Soft tires are now the way to go. The rain is now behind us. That time has gone past. And Aerody Knight puts in the provisional pole. Right behind them, Fate in the Williams on the outlap. So yeah, people will be setting their lap times on the soft tires. We see on the left side of the screen, everyone has switched the tires to softs now. No more intermediates as it stands. Although many of the times, of course, still set on the intermediate tires. As you can see, best time so far. With your current tires as of right now, everyone coming out. 2 minutes to go before the flag will fall, and you're now able to put in your final laps. Will Aero D-Night go back to the pits and say, this is it for Aero D-Night? So this is the time he will set. And let's see if anyone can beat it, starting with Fate, who crosses the line now to start his into turn number 1 up the hill. Hairpin uses a lot of the outside curb there to open up the corner, but misses the apex slightly on the battery through the right-hander. Now through the S's. Keep it tight through the apexes. Got a little bit of those corners through here and there, as you're of course allowed to do as long as you keep a tire within track limits. Track limits, of course, the white line on each side of the track. Go over it and you'll lose your time. Ooh, that was very close for Fate on the traction on the battery. Back straight, DRS wide open. Now approaching turn 12, which will be the favorite overtaking spot for the race, presumably. And he has improved by 6.6 seconds on his own time already. Jeez, the improvement is so much. Tied through the corners there on the battery. Uses the last bit you have through these corners. Of course, watch out for this corner for track limits. Takes it perfectly though, the inside curb. Now through the final corner on the traction, and he will put in the new fastest time of a 134.5. So we're into 134s. Next up we have a Ferrari of Colombo. No, actually we do not. It is Jackie, I believe. It is Jackie has finished. So Jack, one of the RBs. It's Kotomi. Kotomi, 6.6 seconds up on his time. Over the line he goes. Well, he puts in the fastest lap, 133.3. Taking a new provisional pole time as it stands. So, next up we have Mertsin. Mertsin over the line. Takes P1 from Kotomi, 133.1. Behind him, Stevie, 132.8. Seems like times are improving as time flies. Then we have a Red Bull of Moikuli over the line. P3 for the Finnish driver, for the 3-time world champion. Next up we have Stixer. Stixer not improving, or is improving 6 seconds, 142.4. And then the other Mercedes of Failing Tomcat, P5, 133.4. Behind them, Bakos GT with provisional pole, 132.8. Then we had one of the McLaren drivers, I believe that's MK7H, that it was MK7H, he might have invalidated. And we are waiting for Icarus now. Icarus stays in 16th, and we have our grid, ladies and gentlemen, with Bakos GT on pole position, starting the race from P1 grid slot. So well done, Mr. Bakos GT, you have the pole position award of Texas. So yeah, Bakos on P1 with Stevie right alongside him on the front row. Alex Cardogoat and Colombo sharing the second row with Mertsin and McCulley, both the Finnish drivers on the third row. Katomi, Failing Tomcat Curry, and Fade rounding off the top 10 with Aero Knight, MK7H, Stixer, Sopes, Tolu, Icarus, and Jackie rounding off the grid, who unfortunately have not improved on their time with the soft tires. So yeah, I'm curious though if the race will be dry conditions. Looks like it's dry conditions, quite sunny actually. A little bit cloudy here and there. I might need to put in a reminder for the 5-minute time wait. So let me quickly do that. There we go. But yeah, 3 to 5 minutes, a little bit of a gap to allow our drivers, of course, to um, do make changes to their setups if needed, their strategies, if needed, a little bathroom break if you can't hold it in. But yeah, looking at the race director, it says everyone on medium so far, except for Tolu, who is already chasing his strategy, but not necessary as of right now. So yeah, we will wait a couple minutes before the race starts. But yeah, I have to say, what an amazing lap from Bacchus GT to secure his pole position here today around Texas. Our tricky conditions as well has to be mentioned. And as you can see in the race director, Stevie already considering a hard medium strategy, perhaps. I would say is an easy one-stop strategy, Texas. If it's 28 laps, around 12 to 12 laps on the mediums and 16 laps on the hards, I presume. Diarrhea is quite tricky around here, of course, because of the assets of Sector 1 and the tricky part of Sector 3. Hard braking zones as well. Got quite a couple of hairpin corners. All left-handers, actually. Funny enough. The tight, twisty hairpin corners. So yeah, as we can see, it looks to be a bit cloudy. So who knows? Maybe some rain conditions might be might be coming later in the race. Could be, but yeah, it's looking quite sunny as of now. And I see that our drivers are very happy in the chat with our pole position lap from Bacchus GT. It was an amazing lap. So congratulations, sir. But you're now the win, of course. No pressure, no pressure. Just a couple more seconds before I'll give the green light. And then we can start round number 2 around Texas today. Season number 7, to be reminded, it used to be an 8 track calendar before the DLC, which might presumably be coming out at the end of April, though we might even extend the calendar to 10 rounds, adding 2 more circuits. So keep the announcements keep the announcements in mind for further updates on that. But yeah, I'll go give the green light now, and we shall see the race starting anytime now. 30 seconds, of course, once the first guy ready's up. And Jackie might be going for some adventurous strategies. Might as well, as you starting from the last place in P17. But yeah, here we go. Of course, first in the formation lap. Starting over with Bacchus GT, warming up his tires. And looking at the tires, it is only Stevie and Jackie who will go for a different strategy. presumably a reverse strategy for Mrs. Stevie, and perhaps even a two-stopper for Jackie. Might be holding the safety car in the back of his mind, if there might be one. It is Texas after all. Quite tricky and twisty. Incidents can be around every corner around here. Luckily, we have no walls to the track limits like Baku. So, hopefully you can keep your car in one piece if you might lose the car a little bit. But you're warming those tires nice and warm. Making sure that you might have an amazing start once the lights go out in a moment's time. Let me quickly check the application on the laptop as well, as something changed, I believe. And there we go. Yes, everything working perfectly fine. So yeah, for a second reminder, if you're just joining in, it's your boy Gameboy today. A big thank you to Laroji for taking care of the comms box last week around round number 1 in Bahrain, as both me and my fellow co-commentator J-Dog were unable to do the comms, unfortunately. So yeah, this time apparently you do get to hear an exotic voice, as Laroji mentioned. I do not agree with that, but it is what it is. So who has the perfect fuel for the start? We're going to ride on board with Metsim for the start of the race. Starting right now, the right, let's right, 5 red lights are going on, and it is lights out and away we go. And who has the better start? Looks like Stevie has a horrendous start with hard tires, losing the positions into turn 1. Side by side through 3 wide, a little bit tight on the corner there. Stevie losing the positions as mentioned. Now into P6. So hard tires not working as predicted into the start of the race. I shall immediately put in the position changes. So Yakatomi picks up 2 places at the start. Nice start from him from P7 to P5. And it is of course back GT still leading the race in the V car, followed by Alex Cardugo now in P2 and the Finnish driver Colombo in P3, our title challenger of season number 6. Oh, back to back on the big DRS straight. Of course DRS not opened yet for the first lap. And it is iFeed who has fell a bit behind, so there might have been an incident further back. Can't see if he has any damage though. He does have damage. Both end plates are missing. They put the invisibility cloak on. And Colombo goes very wide in the penultimate corner there. Loses the second though compared to Alex Cardugo, which will be quite crucial now as it is lap 2, DRS opening this lap. Of course, DRS detection point will first start in before the back straight. Meanwhile, Soppis and Felix Tomcat switching positions. Soppis overtaking the Mercedes driver into P8 for the Kick Sauber. And yeah, it is Fate in the pit, so he will bring a fresh nose in. He will no longer be Voldemort. And yeah, as I mentioned, Colombo has missed the DRS gap outside the second. So his rear wing will not open. He will be under pressure though from his fellow countrymate Metsim. On the battery, down the inside on the back straight. Takes the position easily into P3. At the front, it was Alex Cardugo who had a look at Bacchus GT. Bacchus GT defending well. Invisibility cloak. If you have seen Harry Potter in my Mert Sim is able to get within the second though, so his rear wing will open. On the start finish straight over here. Puts in the fastest lap in the meantime. Is Alex Carter going for an overtake move into turn 1 around the outside? Keeps his car there. Bacchus leaves the space, but does not get the proper corner you wanted. Out of the traction and still isn't P2. Further back it is Moikuli, actually very close to Katomi. The Red Bull and the RB, both white in this case. And further back, MP7H takes position off, failing Tonket into the hairpin before of turn 11. DRS open, as you can see. And looking at the front, it is... Ooh, Alex and Bacchus still going at it, fighting it out for the lead of the race. Yellow flags, looks like it is Fate who retires in the pits, unfortunately. Nope, no clue what's happening there, but it was over the track. Oh, 3.5 times the gap now. And suddenly my TV screen decided to disable for some reason. And now we're back online. No. What? So yeah, Bacchus GT is still in front. Followed up, of course, by Finnish Airlines in terms of Mert Sim, Colombo, Moikuli and Sopis. All there. But you're all in a DRS train. If the car in front of you has DRS as well, it is quite difficult to overtake. But speaking about overtakes in the front, Alex Cairo go down on the outside now. Can they keep it respectable between each other? Yes, they can. Alex Cairo taking the lead of the race. Ooh, that looks like Bacchus will be fighting back with a switchback. Ooh, and Low loses the car. He touched the back end of Alex there and lost the front end of the car. Oh no, from the lead now into P7. That's very unfortunate. But chin up, still a long race to go. But yeah, Alex Cardo now in the lead of the race. In that Haas. It just has to be. Ooh, and Tolu retires in the pits as well. So we see multiple drivers retiring. Unfortunately, might be suffering from some problems. Luckily, of course, no safety car if you retire in the pits. So yeah, 6 tenths, 7 tenths the gap now between Alex and Metsim, which is, I think, enough to keep the lead here. Although Alex is saving a lot of battery, and yes, he will stay ahead easily. And it's MK7 Hitch overtaking Bacchus now. Bacchus now down into P8, MK7 into P7. making up those positions. Sopis actually made up 8 positions, I'll see now. So very well done from you, sir. And going back to the tires, yeah, those hard tires have not worked well for Stevie. Into P9, did not have the best of starts because of them. Now he just needs to pray to make the reverse strategy work. Medium tires will be, of course, might be the turnover point anytime soon, within a lap or 3. Ooh, and that's Baushi was quite twitchy with the car there. So he's not happy with the traction out of turn 1. Might be suffering from tire degradation already. A little bit further up ahead, Sopis only Cully. He has the view of all the drivers in front of him. As long as you can see the leader, you're close enough to compete for the victory. Only lap 6, of course. 22 laps remaining after this. Colombo is actually losing the top 2 a little bit, already out of the second. Might want to close that gap before the DRS detection point on the back straight. And MK7H is closing the gap as well. He is getting closer. Already drove away from Backers GT, who might be suffering. I don't see any damage on his car though from the contact with Alex. So it might be pure tire degradation. And yes, still, it's a beautiful DRS train. DRS Maestro, unfortunately not here because he made a perfectly leader of a DRS train. The Stevie and Baku GT side by side. Turn 13. Baku's keeping P8 as it stands. But Stevie on the hard tires might be having better tires by now. So he's attacking Bakus. And Bakus goes into the pits. First driver to pit of the front runners, which might be a little bit early though. I presume he will go to hards. If not, it will be definitely a 2-stop. It is going to be hards. So let's see if he can make those tires last to the end. It will be very difficult though. Coming now out in P14 at the back of the grid basically, as Jackie is just in no man's land at the back. But you're following up to the front again. MK7H has closed the gap, now part of this DRS train, and actually closest to the driver in front of him than the drivers ahead of him. So let's stay on board with MK7H now, because he looks like he might put in an attack anytime soon. Ooh, and there we have the next one. Katomi. Katomi goes into the pits. Those medium tires are not good, apparently. And you need to bring them back to Pirelli. Complain. These are not good too. I hate them. And yeah, with of course Katomi pitting, it is actually now quite a gap from Colombo to Macaulay, which Katomi was in between. So Macaulay has lost the DRS. Soppes has the DRS but has no battery to use. MK7 has battery to use but is too far behind to even have DRS apparently. And Stevie's closing up. He's gonna go for the long run. Meanwhile, further back, Bakos GT overtakes Eichvis on the fresher tires there. So he has grip, the grip of a god by now, just for a few laps. And then of course Katomi, driver out of him, Aero D9 on the older tires. Metsim also pits from P2, and so does Macaulay and Soppes. The mediums are not lasting as long as I thought. But Katomi on the fresher tires will he make an easy pass into turn 1? Ooh, every night out of battery though, flashing his light. Down the inside, P6 now taking. Metsim comes out of the pits right up front of him, but he has cold tires, remember. And now approaching the S's. Warm tires are the way to go. Might be taking some time from him right here. Yeah. From 1.2 seconds to 7/10 through the S's. Tells you the difference about warm and cold tires. And that puts Metsim immediately under pressure. Gap 5/10 going on to the back straight. DRS open. Metsim has battery to defend. So he's gonna keep that P5 as of now. Ooh, a little bit of sideways there for Katomi. Macaulay taking the position of his teammate. Aero D9 looks like the only driver so far with a track limits penalty. 3 seconds. But you're going to the front. Colombo goes into the pits in lap 10. 18 laps on the hard tires. Might be doable. And it's people are struggling. Meanwhile, Aero D9 is losing positions to Macaulay and Soppes as well. So the Finnish airlines have passed Aero D9 now before turn 1. Ready for takeoff. So and now going back to these two, Metsim and Katomi. Katomi 6/10 a gap. Will that be enough to put in an attack going on into turn 12? On the back straight right now, DRS open. Using a bit of battery, Metsim has not a lot to use anymore. Lap 11, going back to the front. Will those drivers of MK7 and Alex go into the pits? Alex stays out one more lap. MK7 picks up a time penalty for track limits. Oh boy. See those two white lines at the at the edge of the track. Don't go over them, please. Easier said than done, of course. Driving on the limit. Yeah, and Stixer in the Mercedes, making his Tier 1 debut, I believe. Overtaking Icarus. Icarus, of course, yet to pit. And now moving to Finnish Airlines. And Sopis is getting very close to Colombo, his countryman. And saying that is actually Katomi, who has closed the gap to Matt Sim as well. Fighting for P4. Katomi lets it go for now. Likes to save the battery as of now. Sopis meanwhile is using the battery. Goes for the overtake. P7 for the Finnish driver. Meanwhile, I'm muting myself in the silent gaps for some coughs, as I have been lightly sick the last couple of days. But yeah, it is Sopis taking the position from Colombo into P7. Alex Cardo stays out another lap. Interesting. So 13 laps on the medium tires will leave him out on incredibly fresh hard tires for the final stint. MK7 Hitch coming out in P9 into the hairpin. Valen Tonkat behind them, overtaking Aero D9. Aero D9 not pitted yet. Icarus has just entered the pit lane. So he's want to getting rid of those disgusting mediums who must not feel good by now. And looking at Katomi, actually, it looks like he's quite at ease from the position where he is right now. Ooh, and yellow flags. Is that Jackie? It is Jackie. Jackie on the grass, getting lapped by those drivers now, unfortunately. Oh, and it is Alex Cardo entering the pit lane. Alex now getting rid of those mediums as well. So 13 laps on medium tires makes our tires easily 15 laps. Easily. But Matt Sim, Katomi, Mike Cooley, Sopis even. Sopis all ahead of him now. Colombo Barcos are ahead of him too. So he's practically P7 now as Stevie's yet to pit. So now to go back to the lead, he has to overtake 6 cars who have undercutted Alex Cadugot for to get ahead of him. And now Katomi is closer than ever. He is using the battery now. He looks like he will be going for an overtaking move. Matt Sim, battery saving on the last second, on the last moment. Katomi has so much more to use. So as a lion likes to do, he likes to play with his prey, toy with it a little bit before devouring it. And Colombo picks up a 3-second penalty for track limits. Oof, that's not gonna go very good for his race. Under pressure now from Alex Carugo, 3/10 the gap. That might be too far though. Ooh, Alex very close to Colombo there. Almost putting his nose into those bumps. Yeah, and again, Vargas looks to be struggling though. Through the corner especially, we just saw. Colombo now 5/10 back. It might be too far to go for an overtaking maneuver. Though he's on the battery. So is Alex. Alex! Ooh. Colombo leaves the space. Side by side through turn 12. Still side by side at 13. Inside line now here. Famous overtaking spot in terms of switchbacks. But it is Colombo who stays in P7 defending his position. There was some very nice driving from these two drivers. And just as I go to a different to a different driver, it looks like Alex Carroll sanded into turn 1 and taking position off Colombo there. So Alex now into P7. Arrow denied the next driver to pick up a 3-second penalty for track limits. I believe it's actually his second strike. Yes, it is. 6 seconds though for the Rebel driver. But yeah, Alex now arrived on the scene with Bacchus. These two fighting at the beginning of the race. Now fighting again. But not for the lead, but for P6 now. Alex are on the outside. Takes the position, both lock up a little bit. Alex makes the corner and takes the position. P6 for the GOAT, as his name would say. And now he needs to make up the time to Sopes in front of him. Stevie pits in lap 16, 12 laps for the medium compound. And with that means that Mertsim now officially has taken the lead of the race. Now all drivers have pitted. As Stevie coming out in P10 on those fresh mediums, right behind Fading Tomcat. Still a little gap to close if he wants to get to the DRS zone before. It was actually Bago GT who picks up a penalty as well for track limits. Struggling through those S's, which he just came out of. Just following Alex there, Bacchus. Make sure to stay close and let Alex drag you along with the DRS. Speaking about close, Sopes very close to McCulley as well. Half a second. McCulley struggling on the penultimate lap there, on the penultimate corner. And we can see the leaders into turn 1 there. 2.5 tenths from my quali. Of 2.5 seconds, I mean, actually. 3 seconds from Soppers with the lead. 11 laps to go, including this one. So there's still much to fight for. Anything can still happen. And Soppers is pushing. He wants to make a name for Finnish Airlines. But that won't be close enough though to go for an attacking maneuver. Meanwhile behind there is the Ferrari and Bacchus, Colombo and Bacchus, side by side through turn 12. This is for position as they both have penalties. And Colombo taking the position of Bacchus, but Bacchus comes back to the inside line there. Still side by side at the exit, now going through the long right-hander, and it is Colombo who takes the position at the end. P6 for the Ferrari driver. Goes wide again in the penultimate corner there. Don't pick up too many track limits. You don't want another 3 seconds at your pants, hanging at your pants. Stevie puts in the fastest lap with those medium tires on 1:34.9. Oh, what's that in front of MK7H? And now Colombo side by side. Colombo keeps the position, still side by side through, going into the S's. Oh, this is very risky from these drivers. Very risky, but damn, that's very brave too. Try to make an overtake into the S's there. And Bacchus GT looks to have taken back P6 from Colombo in the process. And it is Stevie very close to these drivers on the fresh mediums. He has the battery to use. He is using it. On the straight into turn 12. Will he dive deep? He will stay alongside with the McLaren. Now into P8, overtaking Stevie MK7. Colombo and Bacchus ahead of him. On the hard tires. Ooh. Taking a different line there. Make sure to not collect the other driver. Very nice driving from these gentlemen. Into the final corner now. It looks like Stevie might have a slightly better exit. Could he make a move into turn 1? He is on the battery though. Chooses his line. Goes for the inside line here, side by side with Colombo now. At the exit. Doesn't get the better exit really. Still on the battery, going for the S's. Oh, and the little touch between them. And it is Colombo at the end who keeps the position. A little bit of wheel banging between the two drivers. Stevie says, "Get out the way! I've got the faster tire." Meet more, get out the way. Now on the back straight again. He has muchas more battery to use compared to Colombo now. And that will make an easy overtake on the straight. There we go, P7 for Stevie. Yellow flags, I think that is for Jackie. It looks like it. Yes, it is. Jackie on the side of the track here. Going for some lawnmower services. And now Stevie very close to Bacchus GT. Into the final corners. Ooh, Bacchus a little bit squiggly through the penultimate corner. And a little bit squiggly through the final corner on the traction. And Bacchus is defending, making sure to use his battery to keep P6 as of now. Of course, Bacchus and Stevie together on the front row at the start of the race. Stevie fell back all the way to P9, I believe, from his horrific start on the hard tires. Only driver to start on the hard tires. But now he's back on some fresh mediums. And he is coming for you, Bacchus GT. Going on to the back straight again. Best overtaking opportunity. Rear wing open. He has the overspeed, goes for the outside. And I think that's an easy pass. Yes, it is. Bacchus going back into line. Back into the train. And that's P6 for Stevie. Your position is mine. Into P6 we go. So very nicely done from Stevie there. And the top five, all within a second of each other. For the lead of the race, Alex Cardo-Goat has made his way up to P3 on those fresher tires. 5 laps fresher than Katomi, 4 laps fresher than Mertsim. Katomi and Mertsim side by side for turn 1. They're fighting for the lead there. And Alex is just waiting. He is with his hand, he's just warming his hands up, waiting. When is my time to shine? Battery wise, they're quite similar though. Into the hairpin. Ooh. I don't know, bro. You could fit a paper between that. Jeez, that was so close from Alex and Katomi. Katomi and Mertsim going side by side again. Ooh, and that's Katomi losing it on the brakes, losing control of the car. Now defending his position for P2. Alex going for the switchback. The switchback of dreams. Now we're on the outside. Switchback again. No, it just slots back into the line. He's telling you what though, these drivers are all so close together. They all have a chance to win. Ooh, and looks like a little bit of a glitchy from Alex. But side by side again from Katomi and Mertsim into turn 1. Katomi really wants the position. And Mertsim once again hitting Katomi off him. Singing, get away! I want to win. Everyone wants to win. But yeah, considering that Katomi has DRS as well, making overtaking of course very difficult. And again for another lap back to back, so close through the hairpin. And again Katomi goes for an overtaking maneuver around the outside. Ooh, traction wise, Katomi is struggling a little bit with the balance of the car. Meanwhile, further back it is Bacchus GT and Colombo fighting. Colombo going for the switchback. Side by side through the tight, twisty corner complex of Sector 3. Still side by side before going into the right-hander. And it is the Ferrari who takes P7 from Bacchus GT. So into P7 Colombo goes, of course, our championship contender of Season 6 runner-up. And now he's fighting his old team as he drove for the V-Carb in Season 6. But yeah, back to the front now. Macaulay is close up too. And oh no, Stevie picked up a penalty as well for track limits. That will hurt him though. Yeah, not really. He'll stay right in the position where he is. Ooh, and Alex gotta go then Katomi now side by side for the hairpin. Battery. Going for the inside line into turn 12. It breaks a bit deeper and takes the position P2 for Alex there. Oh no, Katomi spins round. Katomi facing the wrong way for a moment there. Into P5 now. He lost the car at the exit of turn 12. And lost the positions to Alex, Macaulay and Soppis. Oh no. Stevie knocking on his door now. He is smelling some blood. And now with Katomi out of the way, will this be an easy overtake now for Alex with those fresher tires? As Matt Sim does not have the DRS. Macaulay and Soppis side by side to turn 1, or into turn 1. Soppis taking P3 from Macaulay there. Pushing him off the podium. His fellow countryman. And it's all so close between these drivers. But this is not a top 5 battle for the win anymore. It looks like a top 2 battle. Gap between Alex and Soppis 2 seconds. It's quite a gap as you can see. But now Alex got to go on the battery. On the DRS. Will he go for the move? No, he stays behind. Oh, but Madsen struggling a little bit on the traction out of turn 12. Alex Carugo can go for a switchback here. Madsen allows him the space. Does Alex Carugo have the better traction? No, he doesn't. Madsen stays in P1 for now, but he is so close, Alex. So close. Through the final corners of the track. 3 laps remaining. Now, from now on, the DRS rider, will he go for an overtake into turn 1? Matt Sim using the battery, of course, to defend. Oh, jeez. Little bit of bump drafting, I would say. Go faster, please. Meanwhile, Bacchus GT and Columbus are side by side into the S's. Bacchus taking the position back. This is my position. Give it back. Then in the meantime, after Katomi has made that mistake in turn 12, Stevie has overtaken him, but of course Stevie with the 3-second penalty does have to build a gap up to 3 seconds to stay in P5, though with 2.5 laps remaining that will be very difficult to do so. And the front runners are side by side. Alex got to go ahead of Matt Sim now. And taking the position, taking back the lead of the race. Oh my god, I just missed it. Oh no. But it looks like side-by-side action into turn 12 and stayed side-by-side through the twisty section of sector 3. But yet those fresher tires of Alex has served him well. He's getting so much better traction out of the corners. And his fuel light is not flashing anymore, meaning he has saved enough fuel. Because knowing Alex, he has usually enough fuels the car. And now he's in the greens. But of course behind them, Still a fight remaining for the final spot on the podium between Soppes and Moikuli. Our three-time world champion hunting down the kick Sauber. And MK7 Hitch picks up another 3-second penalty. Actually, a fourth one. Jeez. 12 seconds is a lot. It will put him in P10 though. So just losing one position. But now Colombo and Bacos side by side. Going into turn 12. Still side by side through the exit there. Keeping it nice and clean between the two drivers. Bacos going for Colombo going for the switchback there. And then another one. Goes deep into this corner and digs back the position. Now Colombo back into P7. They are both confused. P7 is for who? For who? Will it be Colombo or will it be Bacos? And MK7 very close as well though. Using the battery, might go for an overtake, and Bacos goes for an overtake. Perfect view here. We have front row seat from MK7H here. Grab your popcorn, ladies and gents, because this is quite entertaining. Side by side, going into the S's, Colombo lifts from that. Says, I want to stay alive, please. But yeah, it is the final lap. Keep that in mind, final lap. And with that, the final DRS zone, this will be Colombo and Bacos. But further up ahead, Moikuli and Soppes. Moikuli, will he go for an overtake on Soppes? Around the outside for the final podium position. Ooh, and Moikuli goes off track slightly. Still fighting a little bit. Almost collecting there his fellow countryman. Airlines was about to get imploded. And side by side through this corner, and a little bit of contact between the two drivers, but Soppes stays ahead. And behind them, Colombo has managed to overtake Bacos GT, so he will end up P7 until something drastically happens. But at the end of the day, it is Alex Carugo showing why he has earned the GOAT status in ERA, followed up by Madsen and Soppes to conclude the podium. Moikuli in P4, Katomi 5th, Stevie with that unfortunate start of the race with those hard compounds. Up into P6 at the end, Colombo failing Tomcat 7-8, followed by Bacos GT and MK7H. And now Strixer over the line, 16 seconds to wait, but with the 12 seconds from MK7H, he will be so much closer. Curry into P12, waiting for Aero D Knight. And on Icarus, Jackie already finished from a lap behind. So yeah, Aero D Knight gets his spotlight on the stream as well. Here we go into P13, which of course earns you points as well. Points from first all the way to last in ERA. And then Icarus, all in P14, I believe, was it? Yes, it is. So yeah, well done from Alex. God, what a race from you, sir. Having to fight your way back to the front for the win. From P8 back to P1, or P7 back to P1. Very nicely done, sir. And now, for the first time ever, you will see a Haas driver on the podium for the victory as well. Haas, of course, never having scored a podium IRL yet. But yeah, what a race, ladies and gentlemen, and we will conclude with that round number 2 of Season 7 of ERA around Texas. But stay tuned. Next week there will be Suzuka, which is my favorite track. Unfortunately, I won't be there as I have other plans that Saturday. But just stay tuned, of course, for Japan. Either will be hosted by our host Larodri or or my co-commentator J-Dog. But just stay tuned, and we'll see you guys next week. Bye bye.